Welcome to the Pine Cone. Today's episode is on market harmonics, and how the market can be measured like a wave. A tone is a musical or vocal sound in reference to pitch, quality, and strength. It also refers to color. Tone is a hue or mixture of pure colors, shaded or tinted in a certain way. A semitone is the smallest interval used in classical Western music, equal to 1/12 of an octave, or half of a tone. Different scales cut up their tones in different ways. Tones are just semitones with fancy names. Your favorite tones and patterns, whatever patterns you and your culture employ, sound smooth to you. But given enough time, you will get bored of those old tunes. When you want to branch out, you try an unfamiliar symmetry, and look into a different quasi-crystal. Sometimes dissonance can be fun too, or exploring another culture's approach to the scale of music. The issue is our portfolio needs to be okay with infinitely many different symmetric and asymmetric songs, whatever comes on the radio. But how can market trends be useful for my portfolio if they blip in and out of reality, and I personally don't get to live to see the end of the universe? It starts with a guy named Pythagoras, the guy from the Pythagorean theorem. He also started a cult about math. He said, hey, this octave, this monochord thing, let's split it in two. The Pythagorean scale is any scale that can be constructed from only pure perfect fifths, 3-2, and octaves, 2-1. Turns out this also has to do with the way triangles work. He used his new mathematical insight to create a cult. However, the fundamental belief of his cult was flawed. Pythagoras was incorrectly convincing everyone that the square root of 2 was rational. When they heard the Pythagorean scale, his cult thought they were listening to perfection, the perfect triangle. We know now that the patterns he created were irrational. But then there was a student named Hippasus in his cult that spoke up. In a moment symbolic of the eventual divergence of the harmonic series, Hippasus is said to have claimed that the square root of 2 is irrational. Pythagoras put a triangle in a circle, which was cool, but some claimed Hippasus went as far as to put a dodecahedron in a sphere. In response, Pythagoras had the young Hippasus drowned. As seen here, playing all the random sine functions together form a Gaussian distribution. Some professionals consider this to be a complete Platonic market. But let's say your system doesn't have all the tones. It's not functioning perfectly or platonically. This is when the market is incomplete. There are infinitely many different types of markets because economists like to make up their own words, and often these properties overlap. Incomplete markets are infinitely rough and make our market signals look like baloney. This is when we only have some of the tones playing, and those tones just kind of fit our conceptual framework of what a market should be. A complete market has all its semitones together. All it needs for you to do is play them together over time. Then you can use the self-similar trends called technical data, but only some of them because you'll never meet an octave with all its tones together. Often there's timbre or signal error. Even if your measurements say you have all the tones playing, wait because it will stop. In fact, the better the tune, the bigger the blow up. Like death freeing someone from tinnitus, we never get to hear the end of the never-ending song. And this never-ending song might have 12 million year-long drum solos. The market can stay stupid longer than you can stay smart. In that case, you better get tickets before the rest of the investors drive up the price. An incomplete market doesn't know what semitones it's missing. If it did, it would fix it. Like ants building ant colonies, humans develop new risk securities to counter the separation of interests seen in agency theory. Complex adaptive systems, like an ant colony, or the human body, or the market, follow a pattern of emergent actions. Sinusoids emerge into superpositions, which can also mix with other waves. Megatrends are launched when waves, or trends, superimpose into a stronger, more robust wave that mimics total completion. However, these waves don't have to be sine waves. They can be any complex structure. They don't even need to be Euclidean. A sigmoid is the hyperbolic version of a sine wave. In the market, some bad songs never seem to end. Some of these trends are fragile. However, some fragile trends and ideas need to only outlast their predators and competition to continue surviving. This is known as the Lindy effect. The Lindy effect was invented by Benoit Mandelbrot and formalized by Nassim Taleb. Great ideas are Lindy and often stick around. Sometimes robust ideas can be Lindy too. These ideas have to outlive the other memes of their time. If a meme dies out, then the trend it surfed on was not Lindy. The Lindy effect says that if a trend has been around for a certain amount of time, it is likely to take that much longer. No market is independent and complete. but may appear more smooth at times when everybody is jamming to the same song. If you're one of the people dancing, the wave may seem apparent, like dropping beans independently into a bean machine, forming a predictable, smooth distribution to anyone who knows where the pegs are. However, their actions can have second-order consequences. This form of monoculture mimics a centralized system. This is like having the same immune system. This may express itself as a strange moment of extreme magnitude. This can be witnessed on a log-by-log chart, a warning sign to anyone trying to avoid magnitude. To a member of Pythagoras' cult, however, it is a bright beacon of irrationality. It all depends on perspective. These culture waves may sacrifice the individual for the sake of the trend, or vice versa. However, a power law is a sign of extreme magnitude, one way or the other. Some signals are bad, some are good, but a powerful signal can be deadly. This has been The Appeal. Thank you.